Previously on Kawaii-Fi Quest.
What's its name?
Karen.
Really?
The great outdoors. You just want to spread your dragony wings, don't you, my gorgeous boy?
You know, I really feel like it's up here.
I agree. I can practically smell the loot.
It smells like victory and air freshener. It's that old spice.
You three can't just keep making up your own quest and going off gallivanting into the mountain forest.
In Enchantatara, there is always a dragon in the mountains past the deep dark woods. Honestly, it's like you've never played a JRPG.
Stop saying random strings of letters like they mean something.
Okay.
Then tell me what you're planning.
Well, we will track the great beast Karen
The beast.
to its lair,
Obviously in the mountains.
defeat it in glorious combat,
Pistol Pete is preened and ready.
and then steal its loot.
Cha-ching.
But why do you think it's called Carrot?
I used to work in retail. I've seen. I know.
The beast.
He knows too.
Nobody has reported any caves in these mountains. If they had, I would know.
I found a cave!
Regardless, there hasn't been a dragon sighted in these parts for 100 years.
What do you call this then?
I'm a dragon! Hello, adventurers!
Seriously?
It's over 9,000!
Configure the language logic interface for Japanese.
Kawaii-Fi.
Kawaii-Fi.
Konnichiwa, and welcome to a new episode of Kawaii-Fi Radio, the podcast where we look into the world of anime and manga. I'm your host, Kyle, and joining me are my co-hosts, Coco and Kenny. How you doing, guys?
G'day.
Very well, thank you. How are you today, Kyle?
I'd be better if High School Prodigies had have been a bit of a...
Yeah, that was less than average.
Can I just
wasn't
say that episode 8 of this show is bat guano nuts. It is...
That's a fine way of putting it.
What happened in
Very
episode
Dr.
8 again?
So, without spoiling anything,
Not that there's a lot to
for those
spoil.
who aren't aware what we're talking about, this is High School Prodigies Have It Easy, Even in Another World. It's currently airing.
That is the full title, by the way.
There's a few with full long titles this season,
I'm
isn't
looking
there?
forward to going back to single word titles.
Well, that's 10 words in that title. That's like that. That's sort of approaching Picasso levels of name.
Fate
Yeah.
Grand Order
No,
of the
no.
many of the classroom presidents
Oh,
who
no.
go to fantasy
So,
worlds. and-
this series is an isekai. The 7 greatest of everything high school prodigies
Yes.
get teleported to another world.
One is an inventor. One is the very, very young Prime Minister of Japan. One
How
of them is
old
a
is he?
journalist.
No, she's not.
How old is this Prime Minister of
15,
Japan?
16, all of them, I'd say. The merchant's probably the only believable character because he's just like, I'm going to destroy the economy. But anyway,
Yeah, it's
one of
interesting.
them
We've all
is
thought about
the world's greatest swordmaster with her katana, and she helps guide a missile by running
yes,
alongside
that's what
it
she does.
through an inferno.
She makes this thing
using-
turn 90-degree corners
Yeah.
with her bare feet. She's not
It's-
wearing shoes.
It's nuts. Like I was giving the show a lot of liberties to start with, but this was the moment it jumped the shark.
Yeah, it's jumped the robot shark, and I think this
the Mechagodzilla shark.
This kind of sparked the whole argument on power fantasies between
It
us.
is, which actually does bring us to the hero is overpowered but overly cautious, also just known as cautious hero if you're looking on
That's
Crunchyroll.
7 words, so that's a little bit less.
You're keeping
We're
score.
heading down
We're
in the
heading
words.
down. We'll be going back up in a minute.
Fate, Grand Order of the Cautious Hero who attacks
No,
life.
we'll be here forever.
So, Cautious Hero, we were a bit hesitant to watch this one. Kenny, in
There's-
particular, you were a bit. Some of the stuff you saw online had you concerned.
I had seen a bunch of clips about just how the main character interacts with the world, and honestly, I just cannot stomach the guy.
You felt
Yeah.
like you'd seen it all before. And it's another
A bunch of
isekai with an
cliches are
edgelord.
played into this, and I feel like they are done so to sort of satirize and parody the isekai genre.
Yeah.
However, me and Coco got together a couple of nights back and
Yeah.
went,
Let's watch
let's
it.
watch it. We got 8 episodes in.
Honestly,
Crikey.
I like it.
I like it. I'm
I
surprised.
like it. It's
Look.
got the comedy.
It's not safe for all ages.
No, but at the same time, it doesn't seem as questionable as High School Prodigies.
Yeah, it did seem to have...
It had inappropriate focus.
This is the sort of the thing of the anime genre is you guys will like this show, I won't, but that's the thing. There's something for everyone in this thing.
And that does bring us to one which I think we all just kind of went, why haven't we started watching this already? And that is Welcome to Demon School Aruma-kun. Now, we talked about this much earlier in the year after it won one of the Manga Taisho Awards.
Yes, we were comparing it to Rosario Vampire.
Yeah.
And it is quite similar,
Very.
almost down to the colour palette and the school uniforms and everything.
Even some of the building design as well. I mean,
quite.
admittedly, this does kind of lean a bit more on the sort of Soul Eater style of building design, where it's kind of a bit wacky.
Quite, yes.
Having not seen Rosario Vampire, I found it a new experience.
Pretty
Yeah.
original for you,
I guess, yeah.
So I guess if you haven't seen Rosario Vampire, this is definitely going to be completely different from anything from the past couple of years.
But this just takes the bucket full of comedy and just splashes it all over that.
I kind of feel almost like it's bordering on Harry Potter as far as like the just that first initial scene. Like if you had to condense like the first 10 chapters of Harry Potter into 3 minutes, that's what it would look like.
Oh, that is the thing about this anime. It is so fast. It gets right to the point, but it does it in such a crazy way.
I love the granddad.
Yeah,
so funny.
Essentially what happens in the first couple of minutes and is the main plot for the story is Aruma-kun, his parents are literally scum, and they say so as much with the voiceover, who has a lovely, deep, resonant voice. And
his parents are scumbags.
Yeah, he has to work because they refuse
to work.
They're too bored.
And then off screen, they sell his soul to the devil.
Yep.
Makes me wonder, how did he get born if his parents are so averse to work?
Let's not go there. But he gets adopted by this devil who essentially he's like there's the punchline that demons and devils all eat humans. So it's like, well, we have to disguise you so no one knows you're a human, but here, go to a high school filled with demons.
Yes, we've dumped some perfume on you to make you not smell human, but you're still a human.
Meanwhile, the demons next to him are going, something smells good.
Yes, something smells
so we
great.
don't know how good this disguise is going to be. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch more of it.
Yeah, and I actually have watched a few clips ahead, and some of the side characters that are about to be introduced, oh dear gods, this is going to be amazing.
Well, look, we did need to talk about what we're doing this episode because the sun is out, the weather is warming up. It's a great time to get out and about in nature. Well, at least if you're in the southern hemisphere. But for everyone in the north, I'd bet you'd be missing those warm, sunny days, and we're having the solution to wash away those winter blues for you. This episode is all about outdoor anime, and that's from wintertime camping in YuruCamp to diving into the oceans in Grand Blue Dreaming.
See, there's everything.
Yes.
Everything for it's like both hemispheres.
Yes. We're looking at 3 shows that will warm you up and give you ideas for the summer, whether it's here now or in 6 months' time. But first, time for the news.
Making headlines.
Really?
Sort of.
Anime news. A big announcement out of Anime NYC and a delay to Babylon. This is Kawaii-Fi Anime News. Funimation have announced a batch of new and returning series arriving on its streaming service this week. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Madoka Magica, Silver Spoon, and the first 2 seasons of Black Butler are now available on the platform, along with Season 1 of Grand Blue Fantasy, the animation. More content from Aniplex is expected to appear on the platform in the future as part of Sony Pictures Television acquiring Funimation, Wakanim, and Madman Anime, the owners of Anime Lab. Kyoto Animation have announced their annual awards event has been cancelled this year due to the studio's current condition. Announced in 2009, the awards allowed writers to submit their novels, mangas, and scripts, with winners potentially having their work animated. Prior submissions to the awards have inspired several animes, including Free, Love, Chunibyo and Other Delusions, Beyond the Boundary, and Violet Evergarden. Staff of enhanced boxing anime Megalobox have announced a sequel to the popular series is in development. The announcement was made at New York's Anime NYC event, with TMS Entertainment confirming the news with a video on Twitter. The anime originally aired in 2018 and was created as part of the 50th anniversary celebration for boxing series Ashita no Joe, featuring an original story inspired by the classic manga. This season's crime mystery anime Babylon will have the remainder of its run delayed until December 30, according to the show's official Twitter account. 7 episodes of the show have already aired on Tokyo MX and Amazon Prime, covering the story's first 2 arcs. The reason for the show's surprise delay has not been announced. Several new specials are on the way for several of the past year's big shows. The second OAD episode of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime will be available to stream on both Funimation and Crunchyroll from December 4, and the series will also see 3 more original anime DVDs or OADs released next year with the manga's 14th, 15th and 16th volumes. A third OVA for One Punch Man Season 2 is also on the way and will be released with the season's 3rd Blu-ray disc on December 25. The first 2 minutes of the special has been previewed on the series' official website and showcases Genos and Saitama at home. Heading to the bookshelves, manga series The Demon Girl Next Door is going on a 2-month hiatus due to the author's health, with the series expected to return in January 2020. Creator Ito Izumo announced the delay on Twitter with a series of images explaining their struggle with autonomic ataxia and the need to spend time recovering. The manga adaptation of the light novel series My Youth Romantic Comedy Is Wrong As I Expected is entering its last spurt, according to the manga's 14th volume. The light novels the manga is based on ended in 2017, with an anime adaptation titled My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu running for 2 seasons, with a 3rd planned for 2020. And the manga version of Makoto Shinkai's anime blockbuster, Weathering With You, has been licensed for international release by publisher Vertical. The adaptation launched in Kodansha's Afternoon magazine in July, with the first compiled volume released in the past week. In dub news, Crunchyroll have announced 4 more shows will be getting the dub treatment. This season's Ascendance of a Bookworm and Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun, along with last season's Magical Senpai and If It's For My Daughter, I'd Even Defeat a Demon Lord, will see dubs in the coming months. Over at High Dive, a dub for the coming-of-age anime O Maidens in Your Savage season is also on the way and expected to appear on the platform from December 20. And that's your anime news for the week ending December 1st, 2019.
Megalobox.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so happy.
There
I've
was
got
a
the song in my
lot.
head now.
Yeah.
It's such good
So
music.
the
in that.
music for that series is amazing. If you haven't seen Megalobox, I'd love to tell you to go stream it online, but at the moment you can only get it in physical copies, which is infuriating.
You know, if you love sports animes, if you love boxing animes, or just something with great fights in it, go buy it. It's amazing. It's a great series.
It's such a well-told story as well. And anyone who's a fan of Rocky
It has
will
all
very
the
much
emotion
enjoy
of
it.
Rocky. It's
It does.
oh.
It even has montages.
Yep.
We're
Good
gonna have a
montage.
You need that sort of thing.
You do. Now, there are quite a few random other things to mention as well from the news that I couldn't fit in, and you could tell it was pretty choked because of everything that happened at Anime NYC.
Yeah.
So TZ Master Takagi-san's 2nd season lands on the international version of Netflix on December 6th. That's
you'll
this
be
week
happy
for
about that.
listeners. I am. I can watch it without having to look down to find out the timestamp for the actual scripts. And last season's Wasteful Days of High School Girls is receiving a live-action series, and it looks utterly bananas. YuruCamp is also getting a live-action series. So that's starting January 10th and will appear on Amazon Prime.
So happy.
Yep. And Grand Blue Dreaming is also getting a live-action film in summer 2020 as well.
How are they going to achieve that?
I don't know. I do not know.
Considering
Yep.
the subject matter, we need to talk about this.
We definitely
Yes.
do. But there is one very other random thing that happened this week in anime news, which we need to talk about.
Which is a very other thing.
It's a very
So,
other thing.
the Pope was visiting Japan.
Pope is dope.
There are
This
some
one, anyway.
very interesting photos of the Pope walking around wearing an anime happy. Now, if you're not aware what a happy is, it is a loose-fitting, open-chested shirt. It's like, like a business attire shirt with the buttons at the front, except there's no buttons. It's designed to be open.
Is it short-sleeved?
Yep. And it was
Yes.
bright pink with cute anime girls on the back.
Wasn't there a picture of him on the back
Yeah, anime.
as well? Yes.
Anime-style Pope on the back as well.
I love the fact that he wore that. I mean, you
I don't,
would, wouldn't
I don't
you?
think he bought it. I imagine when he got off the the
Oh, yeah, they
plane
would have given
and
it
they went, "Here is your gift for visiting Japan. It is a happy of you. We hope it makes you happy."
He's this singularly revered figure in the world. He's this guy who's always around people who are, bowing and praying and all that kind of stuff. To receive something like that, it feels so utterly random. Thank you, Japan.
Considering
Thank
all
you,
the
Japan.
considering all the work he does with orphanages and such, like you can imagine he'd be like, the kids will love this if I put this on.
I
will
really
make them
hope it
laugh.
actually does say the Pope is dope on there in Japanese
that would be
somewhere.
great.
Like, that'd be amazing.
There must be a translation.
Anyway, on the note of both Grand Blue Dreaming and YuruCamp getting live action adaptations, we might as well kick on to the next section, which is to talk about a diving anime which is perhaps not featuring as much diving as it should.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
I think I watched that as a kid.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Back Catalogue.
Now, we were pretty hyped for this when
We
we first
were.
saw it because we were coming off watching YuruCamp and a couple of other animes.
That were really comfy.
Yeah, and this one had a poster that just showed people diving in this pristine, shiny ocean.
It was wonderful.
Now, let me give you the synopsis
So,
first.
just to clarify, we're talking about a series called Grand Blue. Now, this is not to be confused with Grand Blue Fantasy, which is
Yes.
based off a Chinese mobile game and currently airing its second season.
This is also known as Grand Blue Dreaming.
Exactly. So in the manga itself, when it's released in Japan, it's just called Grand Blue. In English, it's retitled as Grand Blue Dreaming. The same also goes for Europe as well. So I'm not sure what the French equivalent is, but there were 3 words on the French title.
That is definitely pertinent information if people want to go looking
because
for it.
if you just search for Grand Blue, you're going to find Grand Blue Fantasy by default at the moment.
What happened to with a friend of mine? I recommended Grand Blue to him, and he came back the next week, and he was like, What did you say it was again? 'Cause he was like, it doesn't like.
This doesn't
and then
look
I
like it's
explained
diving.
It's about diving, and he's like, I saw no diving in it whatsoever. Like, not even
I'm just
a peek.
imagining an isekai diving anime now. Just like, Anyway, please, Kenny, enlighten us. What on earth is Grand Blue Dreaming about?
Well, I'll give you the story. This is the tale of Kitahara Iori. He's moved this beautiful, pristine seaside town. Just picture everything from every car ad or holiday ad you've ever seen. And he's there to attend his first year of college. To which he'll be living in a room above his uncle's dive shop. It's called Grand Blue.
Which is on the beach, right?
Oh,
Beautiful.
it's right on the beach, right on this beautiful blue water.
Just a heads up that the scenery in this anime is stunning.
That's fantastic. And he's looking forward to spending every day that he isn't studying either diving in the ocean or reconnecting with some childhood friends. This does not pan out.
No, it does not.
See, we thought this was a diving anime. It is not.
Well, it is, but diving
some
is the
diving in it.
vehicle to connect the people, not so much to demonstrate the diving.
The moment he sets foot into his uncle's dive shop, Grand Blue, he meets his co-workers and his shall we say his enforced friends.
His college seniors.
His
They are
club
all-
members.
They are all as drunk as it gets. Drunk as sailors. Drunk as skunks. They are bare-ass naked, playing scissors, paper, rock to determine who will do a basic chore. When asked why they're naked to do it, they ask how else do you play scissors, paper, rock?
You know what? I love that philosophy, but more on that later.
They as he basically chose to leave, these 2 bare naked super muscular blokes chase him right down the street in broad daylight. Great massive sensor bars on their gentleman areas. And it's just this will determine half of what you're going to see a
Yep.
lot of, because this is less fan service and more man service. Last fortnight we had the Manime, we had Fist of the North Star.
Yeah.
This is man service, a lot of naked men.
Muscular, naked
And these
men.
guys are twice the size of him both ways.
Oh, yeah.
So they
Easily.
are constantly just sort of overpowering him in that respect, and constantly peer pressuring him into drinking.
Yeah, because isn't there a case he goes, "Oh, can I have some water?" And they hand him a glass and he drinks it, and
Clear
then
liquid.
He'll set it
spits
down,
out.
and then he puts a lighter to it, and it catches alight. It combusts
And it's
because
like-
it's pure vodka.
It's pure vodka, and he's like, this isn't water, it's vodka. And they're like, but it's the same colour.
It's like,
It'll do the same
Did
thing,
they do
right?
the same with oolong tea?
yes, he asked for an oolong tea because he didn't want to be drinking. So they poured him, and I have the recipe here. It then advises you not to try this at home. I looked up some people who did.
Not good.
pretty. So that is 9 parts vodka to 1 part whiskey.
That's not nice.
That's not nice.
That's not nice.
That'll get you drunk.
That sounds like a hangover.
Yes.
Is that the name for this cocktail? The hangover?
No, this is oolong tea. And speaking of
Just like a
hangover,
Long Island iced tea.
speaking of hangover,
They're nice.
his first night with them, he basically tries to outdrink them.
Big mistake.
Embarrasses himself in front of his cousin / crush. Japan, we need to talk.
Well, she's
Yep.
not actually his blood-related cousin. This is
So-
Chisa.
Yes, that's right.
That makes a lot more
Kotogawa
sense. I was
Chisa.
not aware there was no blood relation, but let's be honest, Japan, we need to talk because you have this real thing about saying they're related to me, but it's not by blood, and therefore it's okay.
That was very Zap Brannigan of you.
Why, thank you.
I want you to bring
They're
out the
not
Zap
related
more
by
often.
blood.
Yeah, sorry, Kenny.
But so he basically stipulates on his first night drinking with them that he needs to stop because he needs to get up for school at 9 o'clock. He needs to be at the university.
yeah.
So they say, "Don't worry, we'll make sure it happens."
We'll make sure you're there.
He drinks, he
Trust
blacks
us.
out. He wakes up, also pretty much naked, in
Looks at
front
his-
of the school
Yeah,
at
looks at his
8:45
watch.
a.m.
Yeah.
It's just like
At
With
least
the
he's
crowd
at least he's-
surrounding him.
You know, he's got some time to get some breakfast and head to his first class.
What
completely
breakfast?
Unprepared
He's-
otherwise.
He's wearing his boxes. He's got no wallet on him.
True.
He also doesn't know how to get home because he's new to the area.
pretty much. So basically, this is the kind of thing you can look forward to because every episode is just the drunken antics of these crazy fools.
I mean, admittedly, there is an overarching story about them learning to scuba dive and getting their license to do
because
so.
he can't swim.
No,
Can
he
he?
can't. But it's that gradual story over it. And you do get introduced to this wide-ranging cast of characters who are all
Yeah.
very energetically animated, exciting, and fun. I loved it. I really did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very
it's-
enjoyable.
I can't wait for because as we mentioned in the news, the live-action film coming.
Oh,
I
yes.
can't wait for that.
I've been trying to find as much information as I can on this live action thing. All there seems to be available now is a single image showing like these two people like wearing
Board
underwear
shorts
or
and
board shorts.
towels.
Now, I had to do a little bit of digging, but I believe I actually have a source who has revealed when the live action will be coming
Well,
out.
the only detail we had at the moment was summer 2020, and what are they saying?
July 2020,
July
to be
2020.
exact.
See, but we've got to be careful because we did think this was a similar case with the Konosuba movie, with it meant to be out in August, and it ended up being 2 months after.
Yes, that's right.
Can I explain why this touched me?
Okay. Where
do
did the
so.
bad anime touch you?
I
Please do
am-
explain why the naked man anime touched you.
I am from a mixed Mediterranean background, and in that background, nudity is very normal, very
Yeah.
commonplace. Especially in a hot place like Australia, it's very normal to just walk. You know, it's early in the morning. It's your family. Who cares? Who cares if you're wearing clothes or not? And I haven't seen this in other cultures, and
No.
seeing this. I mean, like, I know that you obviously have to wear nothing when you're going to an onsen in Japan, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen this before. I'm
Yeah.
just starting to think, are there nudist colonies in Japan? Where are they? Are there places like in France, for example? There's a town
there's a
called
few
Cap
beaches, aren't
d'Agde.
there?
Yeah, there's a few. This particular one is a nudist town. You can just walk around certain parts of it completely naked. The shopkeepers won't be wearing clothes. You know, it's just the way it is.
Some
I don't know
danger
how to
about
feel
going
about
to a
that.
butcher
I'm
there.
wondering if there's any similarity. Yeah, actually.
I'd like to buy a pound of sausage.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
It is
I wanna know
interesting,
more
like
about this.
the relationship between nudity and like culture as well. Because when you think about it, like a lot of the reason that nudity is kind of ignored or like looked at badly is normally to do with the background of the nobility of the area. So I think it will
Religion
depend.
as well,
Well, there's religion,
be.
and then there's the cultural nobility, the idea of wearing fine clothing and frocks and so on.
That checks out.
But look, with Grand Blue, this started as a manga in 2014. It's still going, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And they only ended up having 12 episodes for the season. They're 24 minutes a pop, though. They're not short form or anything like that. And it was done by Studio Zero G. I'm not too sure what else they've done.
Me neither. I know what the manga creators have done. They've been responsible for such titles as Amagi Brilliant Park.
I love that show.
I have a feeling we're going to need to do that in another episode later. Hagani, which was another interesting one.
Yeah.
And Baka and Test, those creators being Yoshikoya Kimitake and Inoue Kenji. I believe I've got those correct. I'm sorry if I screwed that up.
That's all good. Now, look, this is a show that was aired on Amazon Prime internationally, I believe, from
yes,
memory.
that's one of the only streaming services available for you to get it. But
do we know what the rating is?
PG.
I'm sorry, how? How is
I
it?
guess the
how is this
censor
PG?
bars.
I mean, that is another thing.
You don't see anything.
I mean,
You see everything else.
That's it's the same sort of thing as Tumblr's
these-
rules to do
yeah.
with a certain part of female anatomy. As long as you can't see it, it's fine.
actually,
Yes.
on the subject of what you were saying about having seen this first in an anime, I actually think this is the first I've seen like proper alcohol culture and college alcohol culture, because
Yeah.
Normally, it's very reserved. We're going to go for a mixer and we will drink there, and then we'll go home.
yeah, but that's the thing. I think we've only really seen a lot of high school stuff in anime because it's generally dedicated to that sort of an audience. But everyone online I've seemed to encounter reviewing this seems to call this basically college life the anime.
Yeah. But the question is whether or not they're Japanese or whether they're talking about what their experience was at
Oh no,
college
this
and
was from
university.
some Japanese people as well. And I don't think I had the same college experience as a lot of these people.
Well, clearly, we need to go to university in Japan. Just
Yeah,
to see
that's-
what it's
I
like.
can let you know my university experience was like that.
Is this just
Just
what
without
club
the nudity.
activities are like in Japan?
Well, possibly, but I mean that's kind of what like a lot of unis cultures like that. For the uni I went to for my undergrad, there was we had
Were there
like
clubs?
there were clubs, but no one really did them. I just hung out with a lot of the guys who lived in the student village who were like all international or came from different areas. And whenever every second week the tavern would have a like fancy dress party. So of course,
I mean,
we
that's
would
pretty
all,
much an encouragement.
Yeah, we would all get really drunk beforehand
What
and dress
did you
up.
wear to one of these particular?
I dressed
dress-up
up as
parties?
a fetching, gorgeous girl in a pink boob tube and a short tartan pink miniskirt with thigh-high stockings and with all my hair sticking out. And at the time, I had long hair and I had a guy feeling me up from behind, and that was awkward.
May I just put out a call? These photos must exist somewhere.
No, they do not.
Please, for the love of all things and for my love, if you do have
This
any
is just
access to
blackmail
these
material
photos,
you want, isn't it?
please send them to us.
Send them to my personal email.
We just want to
Anyway.
look at them.
Anyway, drinking culture, definitely a big part of that university experience.
And karaoke as well.
Yeah, which, does lead us to a very interesting thing. The outro song.
They always sing a karaoke. They're in a
it's
bar.
the same song.
They're singing this song, and it's
clearly designed to be like an idol anime type of song.
Yes,
sung by cutesy girls.
I've been having trouble tracking down the actual original song for it, but it's supposed to be something like super serious and kind of gothic and that sort of thing in Japan. And it's just these guys, singing along to it and then getting naked.
yeah,
and
they're naked in this karaoke bar.
occasionally the ending will change depending on what happens in the episode too, which I always just adore in an anime.
But every episode, it does end on the same note, with all four of them posing in the nude,
Like the Ginyu Force.
and then... That is, we are so sorry.
Yeah, no.
As if they're just,
No.
they've shown all of these antics to you, the audience, and they're just like, we are very sorry.
Yeah, but you
They're
see...
really not, though.
So
Look at their faces.
They're
Look at
really
them.
not sorry. They're very happy, quite pleased with themselves. if
Wait,
we're
which
being
faces?
honest.
Their normal faces or their bloody Titan faces?
Oh, they do
Yeah.
have Titan faces too. It's
So,
so funny.
If you've watched Attack on Titan, you'll immediately know what we're talking about. But if not, a Titan face is sort of like, it's this very unusual style of drawing that the Japanese seem to have used for a number of years, which was I think originally used in like ukoi for like drawing demons and like the evils, and the face has like deep shadow and very sharp ridges across like the jaw lines and where their bones are.
Caricature like features, very like expanded, expressive eyes and teeth and stuff.
Yeah,
very much so. Yes,
very expressive.
And so basically, whenever like something devious is being planned by these alcoholics,
or outrage is being experienced by Iori, who
shock
has been
or fear
duped
or
again.
anything, it's just it is shown by these just over the top facial expressions.
We'll make sure to put it on our social media after this episode goes live, so you can have a look.
That was one of the things, though. My final thought on this is the appeal of this anime. It's not just that it was just a great comedy experience, but I think it was a combination of the opening theme and the closing theme as well. I wanted to actually kind of look back at that because I have this hypothesis that the opening song of an anime is like a handshake for the audience, right? It's
and to be honest, the opening for this show was great. It was so catchy, and you wanted to sing along to it. And it's like,
I don't have trouble recalling it.
It's very memorable.
It was done by a Japanese reggae band called Shonan no Kaze.
Reggae.
Yes, a reggae band. Like apparently they're like huge over there, especially in Okinawa and such.
Which they do visit in the anime, so there you go.
And yeah, it's like there was just a lot of anime that season which we watched, which just had great music. And I actually think this actually contributes to an entire season's appeal overall. I mean, we had Love is Hard for an Otaku, Place Further in the Universe, After the Rain, Kokoku, and Takunomi.
Oh, Kokoku's OP. Oh my god.
This is Kyle's
It'll
jam.
get stuck
It's my
in your
jam.
head.
It is my ringtone. I love this song.
But yeah, what do you guys reckon of this?
I loved it. Like I can't wait to see the live action film. I think it's going to be absolutely nuts. I had me mean to try and track down the copies of the manga because I think it's Yen Press or Kodansha Publishing have it out over here.
How are they going to film the nudity scenes?
I think they'll do the same
Censor
thing.
bars.
But I mean, just even the filming of it. It's like there's just going to be an entire crew clustered around these people who they're going to add in bars on later.
I have an answer for you, but I can't say it on
Actors have ways.
There are ways.
Yes. I would like to say, as a closing thought, I love this anime. Any sort of representation of fun nudity that's not perverse, it's just fun. Let's get on to it.
Yep.
Everyone else should be nude and have fun.
You heard it here first, folks. Coco loves the man service.
Well, I can highly recommend checking out. You can find it over on... it should still be on Amazon, surely.
Yes,
now,
it
because
is.
considering they have the
streaming.
exclusive rights, yeah. But with that, we do need to move on to our next one, and that is actually a short form anime, and we'll get onto that in a moment.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
It's over already?
Quick, put on another.
Short form anime. Yes, our new segment, short form anime, because there's actually some really good ones.
I can't believe we got Liam Hemsworth into the studio to do that for us.
Yes, definitely not his brother's Chris. We couldn't afford Chris. Jeez, wow. So let's talk about encouragement of climb, or Yama no Susume, literally recommendation of mountaineering, which is, I prefer encouragement of climb over the literal translation.
I feel like this series is literally... Here, this is all. Look at all the mountains you can climb. This is the way you can do it. This is the difficulty. This is how you prepare. Go climb the mountain.
Japan doing us an educate once again.
Yep, as well as YuruCamp, which follows it. Now, this, I feel, is the spiritual predecessor to YuruCamp. This manga started in 2011.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and is still going in Comic Earth Star magazine, which is a shonen magazine which runs, I think, monthly, which is why there's not that many episodes out. It's had 3 anime seasons, all produced by Studio 8-Bit. You might recognize those if you've been watching Reincarnated as a Slime, because they ran that. And what was it from this season they were in charge of? 8-Bit?
Oh, heck no, I'm just stuck on it. Now that you actually mention it, yeah, the animation quality is so similar to Reincarnated as a Slime.
It's very similar. Anyway, they had 3 seasons. Season 1 aired in 2013 with all 12 episodes, each running for only 5 minutes each, which means if you get hold of it over on Crunchyroll, you can binge through that in, well, let me do the maths. That's about an hour.
That was
So
quick maths.
That's good. I can do that. Season 2 aired in 2014. The episode length increased to 15 minutes. And there were 24 episodes. There were also 2 OVAs and then another 2 OVAs in 2017. And Season 3 aired last year, 2018, for 13 episodes, once again at 15-minute lengths.
Oh.
Now, you might be wondering what this is all about. So, essentially, it's about going mountaineering and climbing in Japan. Aoi Yukimura loves climbing mountains when she was young, but she had a playground accident which left her afraid of heights when she was quite young.
She was on a climbing frame, fell through it.
And it resulted in her finding mostly indoor hobbies. So now she's a really shy and timid girl in her first year of high school. And Aoi has become so absorbed in these pastimes she can barely socialize with others and leaves her practically friendless. Of course, enter on the left, Hinata Kurase, a childhood friend from her climbing days, and then things start to change. So, impulsive and high-spirited, Hinata insists on having Aoi join her in all sorts of climbing activities, and while she's fairly reluctant at first, Aoi quickly finds that her time with Hinata brings back fond memories of her childhood.
And one of the things that really cements her wanting to get back into climbing is just the views.
Oh, it
And-
is stunning. The panoramic views in this anime.
It's beautiful.
I
You can
just
tell they've really done their research.
kudos and props to the artists behind these incredible vistas based on actual locations. And
These
they
are all
just-
actual locations you can go to climb, which is, well, we say climb. What we're meaning is hiking, like, you know, walking up a mountain, not literally rock climbing the face of the cliff.
Yeah, not hammering those pegs into the
No.
wall and roping around.
Though
and-
I'm not going to lie, if there is a rock climbing anime, I am so down for that.
We need to look into
need to
that.
look
I'm
into
sure
that.
there must be.
I've seen an anime which has competitive, like, slot car racing. I'm pretty sure I could do that.
That is fair. So you've got a pretty diverse cast. Obviously, as they start doing this climbing more and more, they get to meet other people. And it's just about these characters growing and the relationship between them while it is set in these beautiful vistas and learning about things you can do while you're going out and about.
And that's the thing. You've got, like, the character interactions. For something that is 5 minutes long each way, they pack so much personality and
They
development
do.
into
And it doesn't feel rushed at all.
What
It's so well
fantastic
done.
writing.
Well, and when they go to 15 minutes, it's not as if they've stretched it out. It's just 3 of those 5-minute episodes
Yep.
packed into the same space.
Yeah.
It's really impressive.
It doesn't feel like, you know, things have been, like you said, dragged out. It just feels more like a double helping of something you really like.
Exactly.
And I found that with the characters as well, I've like Aoi is really, really sweet. You know who stood out? Her friend Hinata
Yeah.
just gives me Haruhi Suzumiya vibes.
She does. She's got that cheeky, almost evil
It's
grin.
like, I'm going to drag you into something that you're not going to enjoy, but it's good for you, and you'll learn it the hard way.
Can I say no, senpai?
No.
I loved this show. I wasn't expecting, like, I think I watched it last year.
Yeah, I
And
think
I
when it was
wasn't-
airing, we jumped on Crunchyroll to see like the first few episodes, but at the time we were a bit distracted.
Yeah, I was like, I was studying at the time, and I was like, oh yeah, this looks good. But then we watched it more recently, and I was just like, we need to just keep watching this. This
Just
is
next,
great.
next,
Yeah.
next.
Great to just curl up on the couch with.
It really is. It's just like YuruCamp, which we'll get to.
Yeah, and it
I'm going to
teaches you stuff.
keep mentioning YuruCamp because
Yes.
that is literally the cherry on top this episode.
It is. It's just the cherry on top of all anime.
So with your cast, there's actually, and I'm surprised by this because considering that it's started the anime 6 years ago, the fact that the cast they've got for it is so well known and renowned is really impressive. So Aoi Yukimura, the main girl's character, she is voiced by Iguchi Yuka. Now, she is the voice actor who plays Index in a certain scientific railgun. A certain scientific index as well. Cowgirl in
certain
Goblin
magical
Slayer.
index.
Certain magical index,
Yes.
certain scientific railgun.
Yes, both of those.
Both of those. The Rail Dex Saga. Cowgirl in Goblin Slayer, and mine in this season's Ascendance of a Bookworm.
And let's not forget Miyake Hinata in A Place Further Than the Universe.
Ah, yes, as well. We will get to that next year because we've got a
Yes.
lot to talk on A Place Further Than the Universe. Hinata Hakarue, now, while she is, as we mentioned, got that evil sort of grin, she's a wholesome character.
She actually is.
She's voiced by Asumi Kana. Now, she's the voice actor who played Marika Tachibana and Nisekoi. That was the police commissioner's daughter. And Aina Yoshiwara in Grand Blue Dreaming.
Which we just talked about.
Yep. And she also played Kazakiri Hyoka, the artificial angel in A Certain Magical Index 2.
As well as Irie in Angel Beats, I believe.
Don't mention
we
that
won't
one.
mention.
Yep, sorry.
We are going to do an
guys.
episode titled Tearjerkers and subject Kenny to all of it.
I feel like the standout voice actor though is Saito Kaide.
Now, Saito is a senior student in Aoi's high school. She also loves mountain climbing. She befriended Aoi when they met at an equipment store. She is voiced by one of my favorite voice actors, Hikasa Yoko. She's the voice actor who does Mio in K-On! She's the Sendawara sisters in Food Wars. That's if you get to the end of season 2. They're the two sisters who own a giant franchise and are judging one of the finals.
That's right, yeah.
She's the witch in Goblin Slayer. She's Rias Gremory in High School DxD. She is Freya in Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon?
Yikes.
She's
She's also
Hina.
the Dragon Girl in Arifureta.
And Tachibana Hina in Domestic Girlfriend.
Wait, what?
Yes.
What?
What?
Yeah.
So what? So that's what you were giggling about earlier.
Ah.
That
Also,
one from
she
us.
is in No Guns Life.
Oh,
The
yeah,
anime
yeah.
that we're watching because this is why we watch anime. The guy with the gun.
The guy with the
for
gun for
head.
Red. We will actually
Head.
talk about that next
Yeah.
episode as part of our
So
intro
this
because
girl-
that's an amazing show to talk about.
And this girl is a year older. The character of Kaede is a year older than Aoi and Hinata. So, and she loves mountaineering. She's so into it.
She is a very... She's sportsy, but it's more of like I'm an outdoor sportsy person. I like, kayaking and adventuring and that sort of thing, as opposed to just I'm going to go for a jog or
Not
run
limited to a
tracks.
single hobby.
Yeah. And then that also brings us to the fourth girl in our group, which is Aoba Kokona. She's a middle school student. Aoi and Hinata met and befriended on a mountain trail. Her shoe had literally disintegrated and the front of it was flapping off, the sole was. She's voiced by Ogura Yui. She is the voice actor for Priestess in Goblin Slayer. Pick up, that's 3 out of the 4 cast members are in Goblin Slayer.
Yep.
Tsukimoto Sane in Teasing Master Takagi. Now that, if you've watched Teasing Master Takagi, you know there's the scene where there's the 3 other girls in the series talking and running around. She's the dark-haired grumpy one.
Aha.
And she's also Gorimi in Africa Salaryman.
Yeah, so she's the gorilla girl in Africa No Salaryman from this season,
adorable.
and it's hilarious.
She was also in Masamune Kun's Revenge.
She was.
Yeah, and I feel like she's the Mugi of the group somehow.
Yeah,
It's so
if we're
sweet.
comparing them to K-On! Characters, she's definitely the Mugi.
Yeah, so these girls just sort of they've found each other and they're getting into mountaineering all together, aren't they?
They are, and it's one of those series which is Japan doing us an educate. They go, this is the type of things you can look for. If you're going to climb Mount Fuji, these are the things you need to know. This is the limitations that you have to be aware of. This is the equipment you need.
And in all of my favorites, Japan is doing you an educate animes. It teaches you recipes.
It does, which is great. And they're like, you can just do it this way, and it's really quick and easy. And here's the ingredients. You just like pause it, screenshot the screen.
Also, parents are in it.
Yeah, this isn't another anime where parents are dead
Or sick.
or
The
sick, or
absent
just
parent
absent.
syndrome.
Yeah.
I think that's that is literally a cornerstone of shonen stories, though, isn't it?
It comes up more than once by a bunch.
Yeah, I'd say more than 50% of the time the parents are absent, or at least there's only one parent.
I'd call it 60. I'd call it 70.
I'd probably go as high as 80%. To be
I hear
honest.
85 from here. Do I hear 90?
We need to
90
find
on the left.
stats.
We do.
Because I want to know this.
I think this is a feature in itself, the absent parent story.
So how many animes are we going to have to go through?
There's a lot.
Yikes.
Just like, me talking about high school prodigies and how that's not what a journalist does. And I've seen this. It's not just in high school
Alright, we
prodigies.
do
This
need
happens
to talk
every
about
year.
this.
There's some anime where like, I'm a journalist. No, you're a ninja. You're not a
Yeah.
journalist.
No.
Yes, why does this keep happening? Why does Japan think that journalists scale buildings with grappling hooks?
Because Japan, I guess.
What's the first mountain they climb? Is it Mount Taco?
Yes, Mount Taco.
Mount Octopus.
Mount Octopus. And it
Yeah.
does have a
Which is
giant, it's a real mountain, and it does have a giant octopus that you can walk underneath halfway up.
That sounds
along
so
with
cool.
It's not a very steep climb either. Like it's I think it only goes to like 600 meters above sea level.
I mean, it's basically like showing a sort of a beginner's thing. Like, hey,
Yeah.
people watching at home, if you want to try this out, go here first.
It's like, walking past people and they haven't even put on like hiking equipment. They're just in their everyday clothes. They're just like, yeah, it's easy. It's fine. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So if you do want to catch Encouragement of Climb, you can catch it all on Crunchyroll. It actually has all 3 seasons on there already, and some of the OVAs too, which is pretty good. And it's a good laugh, and especially when you can burn through that first season in an hour. That gives you a great opportunity to just go, is this for me? And if you're like, yeah, this is what I'm looking for, then fantastic, because then you've got another 37 episodes remaining at 15 minutes a pop.
Does the 3-episode rule change when it's short form?
I think it does, because like when you're watching a normal show, that will take almost an hour, maybe about an hour 10 once you remove any adverts, to get through it. So about an hour worth of content normally will tell you exactly what you're looking for, I guess. Well, not in all cases, but usually. But yeah, look, catch it on Crunchyroll. We can highly recommend it. We'll put up some details once again on socials to explain how it all goes. But this does bring us to
The cherry. The
cherry.
aforementioned cherry.
The aforementioned cherry.
We're ready.
On top.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
I think I watched that as a kid.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Back Catalogue.
Now this is one of my favorite
This is your jam.
animes that I've ever seen. It is, of course, YuruCamp,
Also known,
as Comfy Camp.
I
but,
absolutely
and not
love
just
that.
by us, everyone on the internet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we watched through the first 3 episodes, I think, and we're just like, oh, this is amazing. And
Yeah,
then,
we were just sitting there, just sinking into the couch with each passing moment, just going, oh.
and I think one of us checked online for forums and stuff talking
'Cause
about
we
it.
I
were-
think it was you, Kenny.
Well, at that point, we were like, this is just so comfy. It's not laid back camp, it's comfy camp.
Yeah, and we just affectionately started recalling it that. So then I think I went
Yeah, I
on
think it
to
was
like
you.
look at a few forums.
I think you're on anime list, actually.
Yes,
Yeah.
and everyone in the forums was calling this comfy camp as well. It's basically a universally agreed thing.
It is comfy.
Is
It-
comfy.
It is so cozy, and interestingly, it's all about what starts off with winter camping.
Which, for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere right now, some of you I wouldn't recommend it for, but if you're in the right climate area,
Yeah.
this could be lovely.
You can actually achieve coziness outside camping. So we start with Shima Rin, who is a young girl.
She's the
and-
blue-haired girl on the title card for
Yeah.
those looking.
And she is cycling to her destination, which is opposite Mount Fuji. She sets up there. She sorts we watch her cycling to the place, going to the front desk,
Checking in.
but like the guy's like, you can take pine cones on any wood that you find. She's like, cool. She just cycles down,
It is a
sets
very-
up her tent.
It's a very slow and sedate kind of a series.
And that's something I'd like to
Every
actually...
step is measured.
Something I'd like to point out as well. So there was this resurgence in recent years of a type of TV that came out of Scandinavia referred to as slow TV. Like a train crossing like a mass distance, and you just watch the camera for the entire thing. It's several
I
hours.
could totally get lost into that.
This I would say Japan's anime equivalent style. This is about having, it's a deliberate story. There is a destination, but it's not a rush to get there. It's not like, I've shown an anime where we
all
want the next
planned
action
out.
hit. What we want is just to be engaged by it and watch it and
yeah.
be along for the journey.
And that's what I love about this opening episode. Everything Rin does has been planned out and deliberated. So the site that she ends up on is Motosko. That's what it's called.
And that's a real
And
place.
Yes, it is.
Same sort of thing with Encouragement to Climb. Every location in YuruCamp is a real live campsite you can go to.
Beautifully and just realistically rendered by the artists.
It is such beautiful landscapes as well.
But continue.
So in this first episode, she set everything up. Then she goes up to the front to go to the loo, and she sees a girl lying asleep.
There's Nadeshko.
Yes. It's Kagamihara Nadeshko. So she doesn't know this yet anyway. So she goes, so she's like, oh, okay, fair enough, that's cool. Anyway, she comes I think she later on she comes back to the area. She notices that Nadeshko is gone. Turns around. Oh, this music.
Thank you.
It's so lovely.
This is YuruCamp's main theme, and this gives you
lovely.
exactly the vibe of what's going on.
But she notices that she notices that Nadeshko's gone, and she turns around, and there's Nadeshko. She is lost. She is scared. So Rin runs back to the camp, and Nadeshko follows her, and Rin feeds her with the comfiest looking pot noodle I've ever seen.
What's your favorite pot
Oh
noodle?
my
The
goodness.
best is the curry
I think
cup
we all
noodles.
went out to find pot noodle after
We
that.
did.
And
I
it
have a
was-
supplier.
Yeah, and so that's not the end of their relationship when
No.
Nadeshko gets picked up by her big sister.
They end up running into each other at school.
Yep.
And it's gradually building a group of 5 girls. You've got Nadeshko, you've got Rin, but then you've also got Chiaki, Aoi, and Enna. Enna only kind of really joins them at the very end, but it's kind of a ongoing story showing you how you can camp in Japan.
Yes.
Also being budget conscious considering they're students.
Yes, there is a constant narration whenever there is something to be explained.
the narrator.
Telling you how you can camp, the average price of firewood if you want to buy it from a camping
The
location.
narrator sounds wise and jolly, and
he's also giving you really useful information about cultural no-nos.
Yes,
Like, you know,
he does.
it's polite to do this. Don't do this. Make sure you clean this up when you're done. This is how you do that.
So YuruCamp is an anime about camping and everything that you can do while you're camping, do while you're on your way to camping, what you can eat, what you can bring with you, what rules to follow. That's what it is.
And how delicious the food at a hot spring is.
Oh boy, there's one.
Onsen eggs.
Yeah, the
my
onsen egg was I
God.
think episode 5.
And
where-
I need that in my life.
so onsen eggs.
They're hard, soft-boiled eggs that have been boiled in the onsen.
I think they
and then
they
they
crumb
them afterwards
Yeah.
and fry them. It's
Yeah, it's just.
so I'm just slowly drooling here. We might have to replace all this electrical
Yes.
equipment actually.
It is so comfy, this anime, that even just talking about it, I just feel
A bit
calmed.
zen, hey.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was what was around before we watched this anime. I remember we sat down to watch just a bunch of things we had received for the series, and I remember the first one that we got was like dark magic summoning demons, people in Nazi uniforms. It was like
Oh yeah.
this scary looking thing, and
Yeah.
we just sort of turned that off in 5 minutes. We were so bored.
Yeah,
of
and
it.
I was thinking, because another of my favorite animes is called Sakura Quest. And it's in a way that there are similarities, and and that's quite a comfy anime to watch. I found it anyway, and I was like,
And that is the thing. It's like our tastes sort of together have seemed to be going more towards the comfy
We've
side.
got
of
this
these
big
things.
overlap between the
Coziness.
three of us in that coziness. Like I don't
And
mind
food.
and food.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I don't mind myself, a bit of dark fantasy, a bit of grit, a bit
Mm.
of horror.
Bit
but-
of Shield Hero, bit of Naruto.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you stretch it out, you look at everything that comes your path. But this, for some reason, for all three of us, we just, in that first
Yeah.
10 minutes, we're like, yes.
And not only us.
Yeah.
There are established figures that during the show's run, campsites in the Yamanashi prefecture in Japan saw a colossal spike in visitors.
Wow.
And Rin drives later on in the series, she drives a little...
in episode 4, she gets the scooter.
That's right, yes, a Yamaha Vino scooter. In February of 2018, dealers reported that this brand of scooter in the same color as the one Rin had was sold out across the nation.
Everyone's getting in
That's
on the
amazing.
comfiness.
Oh, and it's just like everyone seems to love this show. And I actually have found one other thing to love about it.
What?
I went looking to see if other people had done videos of them going to these locations, and they have. They are all picture perfect. They are just the serenity.
I think I'm going to have to do that.
The first location, Lake Motosu, someone has done a video of them going there and camping and stuff. And you remember the first bit where Rin goes into the shop and there's this man with this awesomely sized hat and nice facial hair? He's there.
He's real.
He's real.
What?
This is a real guy in a real location.
We need to go find him and take a photo with him.
It all
We
looks
do.
exactly like it does in the anime. I
that's
love
amazing.
it when this sort of thing happens. This happened with a place further than the universe as well.
Yes.
Because
Yes, it did.
are we allowed to say where they end up in there?
Yeah.
They end up in Fremantle. That's local to us. That's near
Frio.
us.
It's yeah.
We will
hood.
we will talk about this show as part of next year. We've already got a bit of a plan in motion. There will be a video, probably one of our first videos, because we are looking to step in that YouTube area.
And I felt such a surge of pride in seeing that location on an anime.
Oh, absolutely.
And so,
markets are very
seeing
notable.
this guy, this anime character, is real in the flesh in real life, I just felt so happy.
And you know what's also wonderful about this? I think there's only one point of tension during this.
Yes.
I've identified what I feel it is. It's in episode 6 when Rin gets a mini grill and they want to grill some meat on it.
Yeah.
The meat that they wanted to grill is sold out.
Oh no.
Say
What?
it ain't so.
What do?
No.
They have to find a different meat.
Yeah, this is the point of conflict in the show.
That's the most
So
you're
I
gonna
felt
ever
that
get.
even in the episode where Rin gets a bit lost because there's a road closure, I felt like this meat episode was a little bit higher in tension.
Higher stakes.
Yeah,
because
because-
stake is involved.
Because for Rin, for that road closure one, all that really cost it was Rin, like, driving a bit further through some lovely countryside.
Yeah, pretty much. So, look, YuruCamp, this aired in early 2018. They then had the YuruCamp Secret Society Blanket Enrollment Briefing.
I'm sorry, there's a secret
There's
society.
a secret society.
What?
So this was a special event by the creators of YuruCamp to talk about the upcoming plans. So we've got a short form anime season starting in January called Heya Camp or Room Camp.
Yes.
And there's another full season on the way with a film project as well and a live action drama series which is airing in January next year.
So down.
Yeah, it's the full cast is up online as well. If you go look on Anime News, you can have a look there. But the English releases of this manga, not even just the anime, the manga have been included on the American Library Association's list of 2019's greatest graphic novels.
Oh, yes.
The manga was also nominated for an Eisner Award in the category Best US Edition of an International Material in 2019 as well.
It's an anime about
Yep.
young high school girls going camping.
It's, do you want to know why? It's wholesome.
and it is
It is easy. It is
absolutely
literally
wholesome.
everyone can watch it. It's probably one of the most accessible shows that has been done as such a high quality that's available that all audiences will appreciate if they're into looking to hearing about this sort of thing.
It's just, it's.
Yeah.
I love this
It's-
anime, and everyone
yeah.
else seems to love it. And
It is wonderful. It is a wonderful anime. If you haven't heard of it, now you have. Go out, find it.
It's on
read it,
Crunchyroll.
watch it. It's just lovely. There's nothing that I can find to actually like lower my opinion of it.
Yeah.
I haven't found anything yet.
My last word on the matter is that I think it was that the voice actresses were just in the studio doing their voice acting thing for this, and they thought, man, wouldn't it be great if we could go out camping to these places? And then the series was announced.
Hey, fun fact. Rei Takahashi is one of the voice actors in this. There is a video where she goes camping with some of the cast.
Does she take a break?
What? I need to watch this.
Yes, you do. Anyway, check it out on Crunchyroll because that's all the time we have for today.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Wake up, Kenny.
I'm so comfy.
So comfy. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Kawaii-Fi Radio. That's all the time we have for now. And for next time, we are doing something we like to call enforced viewing.
Yes. Each of us has chosen an anime that the others have not seen, and we will be subjecting them to it before our next episodes. Things are bound to get interesting.
See, when you talk like that, I have serious concerns about what you've picked.
Don't mind me. I'm still just.
Just all zenned out.
Oh, I'm
Zenned
so
out.
zenned
You're in
out.
comfy camp zone.
I am. For basically, I can't exit the Zen.
You can't exit the Zen.
But don't forget to head over to our Facebook page for anime news and videos. And if you enjoyed listening, make sure you like and subscribe to get our latest episode straight to your preferred device. And watch Comfy Camp.
You've been listening to Kawaii-Fi Radio. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, watch some anime.